Discover the horrifying truth about Medusa like you've never heard before. This isn't the tale of a cursed victim. It's the story of a vengeful monster who became the terror of ancient Greece. From her lair of petrified victims to her bone-chilling encounters with warriors, uncover the crimes that cemented her as a true nightmare. They called her a victim, a tragedy of divine cruelty. But what if Medusa embraced her monstrous fate and became something far worse than the stories dared to tell? Long after Athena's curse transformed Medusa into the hideous Gorgon, she retreated to a desolate island, her heart consumed not by sorrow, but by rage. The first to cross her path was a band of thieves, drawn by rumors of treasure hidden within her temple. They found no gold, only Medusa's haunting gaze. When their screams echoed through the temple, their leader froze mid-swing, his sword raised in futile defiance. The others turned to flee, but Medusa's laughter followed them, a sound that was neither human nor beast. She didn't just kill them, she left them as warnings, each statue capturing the raw agony of their final moments. It was as if she wanted the world to see her power and her hatred. But the horror didn't stop at her island. Medusa began to wander at night, stalking the nearby villages. A hunter, bold and foolish, ventured into her lair with a mirrored shield. His plan was clever, use the reflection to avoid her deadly gaze. But Medusa had grown cunning. She hid among the petrified corpses, waiting silently as he edged closer. Just as he thought he had her in his sights, her serpentine hair lashed out, coiling around his throat like living vipers. Medusa's hatred was insatiable. She began to seek out her victims, not for survival, but for revenge. Warriors, adventurers, even children were caught in her wrath. She left trails of statues in her wake, each more horrifying than the last. One village attempted to fight back, led by a blacksmith who forged a mask to protect against her gaze. Armed with nets and spears, they thought they could overpower her. But Medusa didn't need her eyes to strike terror. Her serpents hissed in unison, creating a sound that drove the villagers into madness. They turned on each other in the chaos, their own screams drowning out the night. By the time the sun rose, the village was silent, its streets lined with statues of those who had once called it home. Over time, the stories of Medusa's crimes grew so terrifying that no one dared approach her island. But the truth was darker than any tale. She had turned her pain into a weapon, her curse into an empire of fear. Even as Perseus prepared to face her, the warriors who stood at his side whispered not of her appearance, but of her cruelty. But that is another story, one of heroes and triumph. Tonight, we remember the Medusa that haunted the world, a monster forged by hatred, vengeance, and despair. Perhaps it wasn't the curse that made her a monster. Perhaps it was us, the ones who turned her into a tale of horror, a warning, a nightmare. Don't look away. Subscribe now for more haunting legends and dark tales, and hit the bell to stay in the shadows with us.